Hey everybody, welcome back. Northernlion plays the Binding of Isaac AFTERBIRTH Plus. Kind of a resin win as Isaac last time, but you gotta do what you gotta do, and that's 23 wins in a row. Soy milk in the D4, huh? 8JEXSYSF. See you later. We have the Ankh, which is actually like an incredible reroll, given the circumstance we're in right now. I actually think... I can't remember if you get a statistics gain from coming back with the Ankh. I'm trying to think. Like, Laz Rags gives you anemia and, like, 1 luck. Help. Help me. But we... I guess the way I would describe this right now, we don't have to choose yet whether or not we're going to use the Ankh. We can see where the rest of this floor strikes us. You know, the thing is, it probably... here's the question, okay? Because we're getting a little bit too cerebral for myself. My mouth can't keep up with my brain. We just have to make a decision. If we don't lose our HP and die and then come back as Blue Baby automatically, what matters more to us? 1 red heart, when it would be our only red heart container, or 3 spirit hearts and no red hearts? I honestly... there might be another fringe case here. Like, do we still have the Ankh if we respawn, and thus would it still get rerolled into something else? Or would we lose the, you know, the impetus of that reroll? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that question, but what I will say for now is I think I value 3 spirit hearts more. But I don't want to use it just yet, because there's a secondary case. If... this is a lot of rerolls too, which is very good. If we get HP from our boss, I would rather have 2 red hearts, I think, than 1 red heart and 3 spirit hearts. It's kind of a tough decision, though. Don't concern yourself with the child, okay? The child is well taken care of. Sometimes she do just cry. We're not doing the Ferber method. Just sometimes, you know, the cries don't instantly get assuaged, you know? There's kind of like a lag period between the cry beginning and then also figuring out what the heck they're looking for in the first place. Anyway. This is it. We got a very comfortable reroll, let's put it that way. We're happy with where we stand, and we're not committed to anything just yet, you know? Let's see if we get HP here. Yikes. Either way, it's going to be a better Ragman fight than we normally would get. Why do I say this when I have no proof of it? Well, simply put, it looks like we'll probably be using the Ankh, huh? Simply put, having 3 bombs gives us, you know, more help than I ever could have possibly asked for. That was... dude. That was pretty clutch. That was a pretty clutch moment. Now, growth hormones is very nice. Very nice to have the extra, damage stat. Very nice to have the speed stat. But it is not a red heart container. So what do we prefer? I don't know yet. I'm on the fence, dude. I'm on the fence like Huckleberry Finn's paintbrush. How about that? That's not how it works. Tom Sawyer, he got somebody else to paint the fence for him? I can't remember. Well, that's unfortunate. Alright, here's how I think we do this, okay? That's very sweet. I think we respawn with the Ankh. I've made my choice. It did come with some statistical changes. How about that? I think we will reroll. Okay. Why are we doing this, by the way? Now that we're Blue Baby, all of our spirit hearts are... all of our HP is spirit hearts. Forgot about that. Well, oh, and we got Judas's Shadow. Well, the whole reason for this, Judas's Shadow will double our damage, but also take us out of Blue Baby position, which is what we're more interested in, to be quite frank with you. We're going to get a lot of HP out of it as well. But we want to do this. We don't want Tiny Planet. That much should be kind of a given. But we want as many rerolls as possible to get closer to transformations, typically. Which is why we're actually... I mean, this is a super weird one. I'm not going to deny that. But we're actually going to take advantage of the boomerang here. I'm not saying it's going to pay for itself. Like, okay, hold on. We got to charge. No! I wanted that to give us the D4, or give us the charge, but then not pick it up and then get the D4 out of it. But it's fine. Could have just bought the bomb instead. So I don't like where we stand here just because of the fact that we're... I mean, Tiny Planet kind of brings back bad memories, I guess. But we're only 6 rooms away from losing Tiny Planet. We got great optics on everything else. Our damage stat is great. We don't even need to use the D4, though, if we don't want to. Although we kind of want to. But now that I think about it, hold on. The D4 is not going to make us not be Dark Judas. So our damage is going to be fantastic to begin with. So we actually... I didn't want to count my chickens before they hatched, but I think we made some good decisions there. Some decisions that hinged on RNG, and I do feel like RNG's is saved there. I'm very thankful for that. I'll never forget it. Not that we were in a terrible spot to begin with, but I think we got more out of it than we put in, which is a wonderful position to be in. And let's hope we can continue. It's good. I mean, like I'm starting to get excited. Let's put it that way, because we basically more than doubled our damage by pressing the spacebar 2 times, which is pretty good. Really, like, you rerolled into 3 or 4 troll bombs. Does nobody else see how absolutely fricked this is? It's just ignorant is what it is. Okay, so do we want to reroll? Do we want to reroll? Do we want to reroll? Great song. The song is called "Do You Want to Reroll?" Okay, there we go. Now we got a great run here. Nothing could stop us. The world will never be the same. That being said, of course, we will reroll at our earliest opportunity again, but I do like the piercing shots. What I would like to do to insulate us here, and then we can get on to some real pog-rich banter, hopefully, is just get a shop that has a reroll machine, buy like 3 Spirit Hearts. Well, it's not bad. Not exactly what I wanted, but not bad. What is this, like, troll bombs are half price? What is this, www.trollbomb.com? Just a timely little reference to the rise of the World Wide Web for you. Dude, all the kids can talk about these days is flossing and dabbing, doing the hype dance and getting victory royales. When did they stop praising the Lord and talking about Netscape Navigator? What happened? Okay, that gives us 1 closer to Spun. So we are 1 away, I think. We're definitely not taking any of those. Those are garbage. And we'll move on to the next floor. We have 1 problem right now, which is that we're 2 floors deep. We've only got 3 items total. That's not particularly good. However, we've milked a lot out of the items we have gotten. Like, 2 of the items that don't appear anymore are the Ankh and Judas's Shadow, both of which gave us an incredible yield. So, feeling pretty stoked. Pretty stoked. Moving onwards here. How are you doing? It's actually, like, I didn't expect to record this much Isaac today. You know, the Fall Guys update just came out. I've been meaning to check out more of that. That was the most Canadian my accent has sounded in a while. Meaning to check out more of that. Hey, bud, why don't you get your skates sharpened? Go down and check out the Fall Guys update. There's Spun. Told you we were close to Spun. We do lose piercing shots there, but... I don't know anything about linguistics, but I find it to be like... Oh, this is a very cursed visage, by the way. I don't know anything about linguistics, but I find it to be kind of a fascinating field. You know, for a couple of reasons. Like, have you ever done that that New York Times linguistic test? That it asks you, like, hey, what do you call, like, the concrete median in between 2 lanes of traffic? Then it'll be like, a median, an island, a concrete island, a road island. And then there's always one that's like, you know, a heaven train station. And you're like, nobody says that. But somebody out there say, like, if you look at, I remember Danny B told me about this one. He's a linguistics, he's interested in linguistics, let's put it that way. He said, did you know, like, what do you call it in, you know, Canada or in the West Coast or whatever, when it's sunny but also raining? And I was like, I think people call it a sun shower, but you know, also we don't really have a name for it necessarily. He said, did you know that in parts of the American South, when that happens, they say the devil is beating his wife? How do these things come to pass? Like, at the end of the day, I guess, you know, not to be, like, all galaxy brain about it, but, like, words are just, you know, sounds you put in order to convey more complex ideas, right? Instead of going, well, it's raining and sunny at the same time, you can go, well, the devil's beating his wife. Looks like the devil's beating his wife again. By the way, didn't know the devil was married. Kind of took him for a lifelong bachelor, but I'll admit I haven't read the backstory. It's not illegal for the devil to get married, right? I don't know. Look, I'm confused. I don't know anything about any religion. I've been reading that, well, reading is a strong word, but I'm listening to that audiobook on Greek mythology. It's pretty cool. Starting to think this Zeus guy got up to some bad stuff, though. Twitter, do your thing. I don't think he should be turning into animals to trick ladies into fornicating with him. I know it was a long time ago, but, you know, there's no statute of limitations on being an a-hole. Twitter, do your thing. What am I talking about? I don't know. I find the concept of linguistics interesting, much in the way I find the concept of economics interesting, but I know nothing about it whatsoever. Like, it's interesting to me that Vancouverites, in my opinion, on average, don't have what I would describe as a Canadian accent. However, Vancouverites do have, like, a West Coast lilt, like almost like a California surfer sort of lilt. And then there's also, like, some British Columbian words, like, well, there's, like, what am I trying to think of here? Well, I've lost it now. Well, it's, you know, well, I'm completely losing it. We don't say Vancouver most of the time, or locals at least will say Vancouver. There's the Fraser River versus the Fraser River. There's a word I'm trying to think of. I think it starts with like an S. That's like when things are when they're messy. I can't remember what it is now, though. Anyway, long story short, I didn't do my necessary research in advance of this video. So now, I seem like I don't know what I'm talking about, which is always true, but sometimes I do a better job than other times at, you know, betraying the appearance of that. Like, you would think with the amount of content, like, to me, accents and local dialects, they make a lot of sense in, like, the pre-internet era, you know? Even if you're watching national TV. Like, I remember growing up, you know, we only started to watch, like, national or even, like, US TV after, like, 7 p.m., you know? For the rest of the day, except for stuff like The Price is Right, you're pretty much like you were watching local content. So everybody on the news sounded like this, you know? Oh, forget about it. There was a frickin' fire on Brock Street today, you know? Buddy barely got out with his life. Maybe they didn't sound exactly like that, but you get the general gist of what I'm trying to get at here. Nowadays, you would think with like so much on the so much content being consumed on the internet, like I did say consumed. Like, here's my thinking: why doesn't everybody just sound like Mr. Beast now? The guy has like 3.3 billion video views in 2020 alone. Shouldn't he be, like, everybody on Earth, as far as I'm concerned, at least under the age of, like, 25, should sound like Mr. Beast right now. I don't know what he sounds like, to be honest with you. I'm just saying, like, you know, just makes sense to me that he would have such a incredible impact on the way that we pronounce words. Either way, I don't know where I'm going with this. That's one of those, like, I would love to take, and I guess the only thing stopping me right now is time. But would love to take like an intro level, or just read like an intro level book on linguistics. Yeah, I don't want to take like a course, I guess. I would just love to like have somebody that's very good at linguistics, strip all the academia out of it, and then just put a bunch of, like, funny stories and interesting facts into a book, and then I could read that. I don't want to read, you know, like, hey, here's the reason that we make an aspirated S sound. What I want is, like, you won't believe what people here call this. Wow. Isn't that weird? I'm from Holland. Maja, Faja, 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 can you hear? Okay, we're done. Anyway, we're playing more Isaac today than I expected. Like I said, I expected to get it more... Expected to check out the Fall Guys update today, eh? Oh, take off. You know what's funny? Like I said, people in Vancouver don't have the traditional Canadian accent for the most part, which is really more of a kind of like a... I'm trying to think of the right word. It's like there's like special regions in Canada that have their own accents to some extent, and I know you're going to think that I'm talking out of my beehole, but I'm telling you, I read it on Wikipedia, the most trusted source of all time. And can I be honest with, like, I know I've gone off on this before. I understand that you can't, like, Wikipedia was always kind of shorthand considered a bad source because anybody on Earth could just edit it, right? I push back on that so hard. First off, if anything, I think Wikipedia in its maturity, which we're in right now, sure, you could find misinformation, but I think most people that edit Wikipedia don't edit Wikipedia maliciously to be like, hey, you know, we're going to change the date of this by 1 year. They edit it maliciously to be like, and he's a turd eater, you know? So if you were doing your study and you came across like, oh, Ulysses S. Grant, noted Civil War general and President of the United States, who recently, due to the publishing of Ron Chernow's, you know, eponymously titled biography, has risen into the third quartile of presidential rankings, historically speaking. Also, noted eater of turds. You would probably be like, you know what? I'm going to leave that aspect out. But hey, Miss Jenkins, 10th grade history teacher, pardon my French there. What if I told you that just any idiot can write a book too? And if anything, once, you know, a book goes through one editor, Wikipedia, there's an army of dweebs. And I mean that in the nicest way possible. There's an army of dweebs there waiting to correct any little bit of misinformation. I think at least for like a high school level papers, Wikipedia should be like the only source you need. And plus, we all know what everybody's doing anyway. Like, who made the rule that Wikipedia is not an acceptable source? So now what you do is you go to Wikipedia and you find like facts, and then you just click on the footnotes and you cite the things that they cited. Like, it's been a while since I had to write a paper. Let's not, you know, mince words here. I'm just saying, like, it's just weird that you're like, no, you can't source the meta source. You have to source the primary source. I know there's probably like some, you know, editors out there, some library scientists that are like, please shut up. But like, I'm talking about for the everyman, okay? Obviously, like if you're writing a paper, not even a paper, but if you're publishing like a literature review on something, and you're a PhD candidate, I don't want you to use Wikipedia. I expect you to have like a, you know, a more specific kind of sense of the knowledge and the context surrounding the situation. However, you know, if you're like, you know, Jimmy Smith's 11th grade student with a 3.6 GPA, use Wikipedia, dude. It doesn't make any sense. Anyway, long story short, there's regional Canadian accents, Newfoundland and Quebec probably the most famous, I suppose. There's also some from like the Ottawa Valley, apparently, which is, I think, what I consider more of the traditional Canadian accent. That and like the prairies, but I forgot what I was saying. Anyway, long story short, yeah, sometimes we talk funny. The end. Anyway, so I was meaning to check out that Fall Guys update today. Hopefully I'll still get a chance. Had a nice conversation the other day. So you know, we had a doctor's appointment, and afterwards we got a sandwich, takeout, you know, social distancing respected, masks always on, etc., etc. There was an older woman in the store. She did not get a sandwich. She got some soup. She approached me, like in JoJo's Bizarre Adventure style, and she said, they had the best soup here. Or they have the best soup here. And I went, oh, is that right? And then she was talking to me. With God as my witness, she kept talking, but she just walked away. It was like, you know, you play a video game and like an NPC is talking to you, and you start walking away from them and they just get quieter and quieter. It was that exact situation, except she was doing it to me. I didn't know what to feel. I was like, if you want to tell me about the soup, you know, I was listening with rapt attention. I mean, I got a sandwich personally. Don't get me wrong. I got nothing against the soups whatsoever. I'm a very soup positive individual. I enjoy soups. My mom's been making me a ton of soups and delivering them. But tell me more. Tell me more. Do they blend up the tomatoes? Tell me more. Tell me more. Do they have leek and potato? Sorry, I haven't seen Grease in a long time. Grease was one of those things. That's my bad. Grease was one of those things I have to admit, like Happy Days. When I was younger, I actually thought that Grease was filmed in the 1950s. I didn't realize that it was actually from the 1980s, I think, but about the 1950s. Much like in my head, it didn't make any sense to me. I was like, Ron Howard was on Happy Days as a child, well, as a teenager, and then he directed Apollo 13 when he was like 40 years old. 40 years later. Didn't make any sense at the time. Once I realized that Happy Days was actually a parody of the 1950s, it made more sense to me. Sorry, it's hyper-specific knowledge, unlikely to come back to help you, but that's fine. That's pretty much the dominant currency in these videos. Just stop, okay? Like, stop trying to hit me. It's embarrassing both of us. I was hoping for a reroll into the black candle so we could actually pop the sun card, but I really, like, I feel untethered. Like, in the Jordan Peele context, I feel untethered from this run right now. I don't know how to feel about how we're doing. I feel like it's pretty close to unlosable. However, I also feel like it's pretty easy for us to just press the spacebar once and accidentally ruin the rest of our run. But I don't think well, it's weird, right? Because, like, I don't feel like I've had a run that I want to stay on. But I also feel like that's because most of our runs have pretty much just been really equally good, right? Like, we're not in a... We haven't been pinched yet. What about this? We're basically... I mean, you know the joke. We're just waiting until we get Tech X. I'll tell you, this run is good, but it's not good enough for me to just bail. Let's see what we get. This run, I do see Infestation 2. I see Chocolate Milk. History quickly crashing through your silk. Chocolate milk. I move away from the milk to breathe in. I don't know. This one also doesn't seem like where we want to spend the rest of our lives. So let's re-roll without a care in the world. This is what we're talking about. Ipecac. Excuse me. You were dead? It's been some weird Isaac runs lately. I feel like I mean, let's be honest, I haven't really been outside of the house much. And, you know, a little, not the best sleep of my life. You know, we're going a little crazy. I described it to Dan the other day. He's like, what's it like, you know, how would you describe having a newborn? And I was like, I feel like normally my thoughts are like when two decent baseball players play catch, you know? Like, the throw is the speed you expect it to be. It's at the position you expect it to be. The glove catching it is in the position you expect it to be. And they make the connection like 99.9% of the time, you know? In newborn land, I'm not at that level. Like, the throws are coming in, like, I'm throwing knuckleballs, and I'm trying to catch with my offhand sometimes. It's like Bilbo said, you know? I feel like butter spread over too much toast. It's not what Bilbo sounds like at all. It's Bilbo in a Guy Ritchie movie. Oh, why shouldn't I have it? See, that one kind of connected. I see that your ring has an inscription that says, "In the darkness, bind them." And you'll see that mine says Desert Eagle replica on the side. Look, I haven't seen Snatch in a long time. And don't take that out of context, please. Oh, I'm willing to tell you the last Guy Ritchie movie I saw was Aladdin. So if you want to make fun of me for anything, make fun of me for that. But we look like we're gonna pretty much pull out a successful and easy victory here. You know what? Let's get funky. Why would I ever do this? Because we got a reroll coming anyway. And I always feel like there's nobody out there that is like begging me to take these items. But just by taking it in this situation, I can at least be like, hey, remember? Remember that time? I took Isaac's Heart recently in a situation where essentially it was completely meaningless. But, you know, ignoring that, I still took it. That was good. And something tells me that, like, our next reroll is just going to take us into outer space. Like Stellar by Incubus. Which, for my money, I gotta tell you, I know that, like, everybody's favorite Incubus song is, like... Well, there's two of them, right? Wish You Were Here is very common. The sky resembles a starlit canopy with holes cut in it. just a weird line. This is a great setup here. What did I tell you? Attack X. And then there's Drive. I tell you, from seem to get the bed. Oh, get my some and a mask away. Those are good songs. I've always been kind of like a Stellar. I'm not a big Incubus fan to begin with, but Stellar was kind of, how do you do it? Make me feel like I do. Honestly, if the main singer from Incubus ever leaves, I'll get some arm tattoos. I could do the song. Did you not hear the Starlit Canopy line? With holes cut in it. Baby did not like that. Stop, you're ruining my childhood, but like literally, because, you know, instead of... Mostly, you get when people say ruining my childhood, it's like you're making fun of this thing I liked when I was a child. Now, she's actually like in her childhood right now, so, you know, you get the joke. Alright. Easy dubs. It's like being Tony Hawk in the X Games in the 1990s. Easy dubs. Hey, for now, thanks for watching. I hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. And, of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See ya!